those ancestors all the way back, however far it goes. And the other thing that seems to be really consistent is when we're doing this work, those ancestors show up. So chances are, I'd say there's a pretty fair bet they're here. So let's ask and see. Ready? Just resist me. Is your mom still alive? She's not here, probably.
She's still alive.
She's still alive, but she's not here in the room.
No.
Okay. So she's not here.
Not physically, anyway.
But her mother and all those other grandmothers may be here. Let's find out. So your mom's not here, but are those other grandmothers, are any of them here actually right now in this room? Ready? Just resist. And the answer is yes. Okay. Are they all here, all 12 generations back besides your mother? Are they all here? Yeah, they are.
Woo!
Nothing else to do, apparently. No, not scary at all. Because see, we're connected to those ancestors, aren't we?
Yes.
I believe there are guardian angels, really. Who would be more interested in us than them?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
you know, you're a granddaughter, so they want to help you and watch over you, etc. So you ready? Here we go. Let's ask if we need to know more about this inherited emotion of fear. We need to know more about that. No, we don't. Because usually with these, all the subconscious needs is for you to bring that energy and bring that consciousness to, we usually figure out the genealogy, and that's all you have to do with these. Okay? Let's release this. Face that way. Here we go.
Would you explain what the magnet does?
Yes, okay. There are, of course, meridians in the body that run all over the place, and there's one particular meridian that we use the most. It starts at the upper lip, and it goes right over the top of the head, and then all the way down the back of the tailbone, right in the middle. And that's called the Governing Meridian. And that connects up with all the other meridians. And when we bring an emotion like this to the surface, okay, what we're doing then is we can release it by simply, oh, I've got one right here, thanks.
Always got plenty.
We can just pass a magnet. And by the way, this is basically a refrigerator magnet, okay? So you have a very powerful healing tool on your fridge. You had no idea. Who knew? Get away from that fridge. What we're doing right now is we're passing this magnet down her governing meridian. We do this 10 times when these emotions are inherited. And we're putting this pure magnetic energy into her body. And that magnifies my intention, and the intention here is to release that energy that she's been holding from all those generations back. We have no idea what that grandmother went through, but that emotion of fear was so powerful that it's gone through these many generations. Think about that.
She's crying. There, tissue.
Yeah, you got
It's
tissue.
good. It's,
I usually take tissue.
there's some over here.
She's getting it.
Sandy,
It's good.
you got it?
You'd be amazed how many tissues I can
From both directions here. There we go. Right. All your grandmothers wanted you to have.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you a quick story here while you just gel for a minute. My daughter, one of the beautiful things about this work is that it can be done at a distance. Okay? We have almost 500 practitioners now, and Sammy and Ruth are two of those that do this work at a distance. And the beauty of it is that you can find a practitioner on our website at healerslibrary.com that can work with you if you want, or you can do this yourself. But you can find a practitioner anywhere in the world now. And if you like somebody in Australia, great, you can work with them. And you don't have to go there. You just do it on the phone, and it works just the same. It's amazing stuff. But I want to tell you, my daughter one day I asked her to work on me. And she was in Seattle, and I was in St. George, Utah. And it's about 1,200 miles or so distance. But I asked her to work on me, and so she started working on me. And she found an inherited emotion of hopelessness that I had.
Wow.
And when she found that, she immediately started feeling emotional herself, and she figured out it came from my father, and he got it from his mother, and it went back 22 generations. Way back, 22 generations. And when she found that, when she arrived at that point, 22 generations back, she suddenly felt the presence of that grandmother standing right next to her. Not in a spooky or eerie kind of way. She just was there. And she could feel her emotions. She could feel how desperate she was to have that energy that she had passed on to all her generations. How desperate she was to have that released. And she could feel how grateful she was that was being done for that posterity. Isn't that amazing? So when my daughter released that emotion, she could feel it not only release from that grandmother, but all those generations in between. She could feel it just ripple through all of them. Now, here I am, 1,200 miles away, sitting at my desk, just paying, just doing my thing, working. And all of a sudden, I have one of the most profound healing experiences in my life. Because all my life, I had had this background feeling of hopelessness that I did not even know was there. If you live next to a factory that's humming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, pretty soon you don't even hear it, right? You just block it out. And people ask you about it that are new, and you say, well, what are you talking about? You don't even hear it. That's how it was for me. Until the moment that was released from me, and I suddenly recognized it for the first time in my life. And I said to myself, my gosh, I know exactly what that was. And it's been there all these years. And I couldn't believe it. Profound. So I'm telling you, this work is so simple. You see how it is. You see how easy it is. And yet the results from this are profound in so many, many cases. Now, let's come back to our subject here. And let's take a look and see how you're doing. Just resist me now for a second. I want to check and see, did we release that inherited emotion? We did. Now, did it also release from all of those ancestors? And what's the answer? Yes, it did, including your mom. Now, the ones that are passed on, they're kind of on their own. But your mom, you might want to call and just let her know that over the next day or so, she may feel emotionally up and down a bit as the body processes the release of that emotion. See? That's what we call processing. And it happens about 20% of the time when emotions are released. People might feel a little emotionally on edge. Call your mom. Tell her, Mom, you may snap at people more than usual. And if you do, or if you're feeling emotionally on edge, or you might cry, all of those can be symptoms. Okay?
So how does that work for siblings? Would that be true for my siblings?
Now, do you have any kids?
I have kids,
You have
and
kids.
I also have a brother and a sister.
Well, the intention that we try to hold when we're doing this, when we're releasing an inherited emotion, is to release it from any soul that's holding it, either living or dead. So, what we can do is we can check your kids. Okay, how many kids do you have? Two kids, okay. So let's ask this question. Did either one of your kids receive this energy from you at the moment of conception, this inherited fear? And the answer is what?
Yes.
Yes, they did. Did they both receive this? Yes, they did. They both got it. Now, do they both have it right now? And the answer is what?
No.
Because we released it from them. Okay.
Are the ancestors still here?
Oh, good question. Are the ancestors still here? No, they usually show up, and then once the release happens, they just file out. Fly out? I don't know.
I have a question. I've had this chronic myofascial pain for probably 12 years now. I have a sister who's older, who's very ill with fibromyalgia. Incapacitated.
Wow.
And I know she's holding it well.
Yeah.
So the question for me right now is, has this helped her?
Let's check her and see. So, what's your first name?
Olga.
Olga. So let's just resist now. Let's ask if, did we release anything from Olga just now when we did this? And the answer is yes. So apparently that also released from her. Now what I'd like you to do is kind of just move your arms around a little bit and let's see how this area is feeling compared to. Feels looser? Okay?
Yeah, it does.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Now on a 0 to 10 scale, we were at a 5 and got down to maybe, I think, a 3 or something. How does it feel now, pain?
1 or 2, there's still a little stiffness.
1 or 2? Yeah, that's pretty
But
good.
it's not nagging. So,
Well, at least there aren't any harmful side effects.
So how about one for the heart wall?
Oh, wait,
Heart wall?
absolutely, yeah.
And then we will, that would be wonderful.
Okay, anybody out there that's having a hard time finding a soulmate? Okay, let's have you come up.
Yay, Damaris. A fellow trapped emotion releaser.
Hi. Okay. So, what's your name?
Damaris.
Damaris? Okay, awesome. So, have you had any work done on your heart wall?
No.
No. Well, let's find out if she's got a heart wall here then. Let's take a look. Ready? Hold your arm straight out like so. Just saying, well, first, we like to get a baseline test on people when we're testing them to make sure that they're testable, because sometimes people aren't testable for one reason or another. My name is Damaris.
My name is
Okay,
Damaris.
just resist and hold it. Okay, that's nice and strong, right? My name is Bob.
My name is Bob.
Okay, just resist and hold it. Okay, so there we go. So she's testable. So let's ask this question. Do you have a heart wall? And
Yes.
what answer do we get? We get a yes. So that means that there's that wall of energy around her heart. So let's find out, can we release an emotion from your heart wall right now? What answer do we get?
Yes.
We get a yes, okay. So what do? We go to our chart.
Is that really a fridge magnet?
Yeah. Well, it's the same kind of magnet that they use for fridge magnets. It's
Positive
flexible.
or negative?
It's kind of bipolar.
Should I tell him now I'm a psychologist?
All right, awesome. Well, okay, here we go. You ready? Let's ask where this emotion is. Is it in column A in this chart? What do we get there?
Yes.
Yeah, let's check. Just to check our work, we'll ask, is it in column B in this chart, and what do we get there?
No.
Definite no. Okay, so it's definitely in column A. We just got rid of half the list, right? Here we go. So is it in one of the odd rows in column A? What do we get?
Yes.
Yes. So is it in row 1 in column A? No. Is it in row 3 in column A? No. Is it in row 5 in column A? Yes.
yes, it is.
Is it blaming? Is that what it is? Try that again. Is it blaming? Is that what it is? No. Let's go to the next one. Is it dread? Is that what it is? That's strong. Let's go to the next one. Is it fear? No. Let's go back to dread. Okay. Is the emotion dread? The emotion is dread. Now, dread is kind of a fear of something that's coming down the pike at you, right? Kind of a fear of things that are coming. So, first of all, when I say dread, does that ring any kind of bell? Anything come to mind?
Not as much as some others.
Yeah. Well, that's the interesting thing about this, right? Because oftentimes people are looking at the list thinking, I know what it is.
It's from the past, you know.
Well, it might not be. Well, you never know. With this work, you never know, okay? Because the old saying of the holistic physician is anything can cause anything. And you never know about these. You never know. And sometimes it surprises you. Sometimes it goes back to the womb. Sometimes it goes back to before that. So let's take a look here. So we know that it's, let's see, where are we at? Row
Fear.
5, right?
No, dread.
Column A, row 5. So, and we know that it's dread. So let's ask, do we need to know more about this emotion? And what's your body say?
Yes.
Yes. In this case, your body says, yeah, there's more you got to dig out about this. So what we typically do first is we'll figure out how old you were when this happened. Okay, so usually we start by asking how old you are now. But of course, sometimes that doesn't go over well.
I don't want to get rid of this.
Okay, go ahead then. How old are you?
60.
You're 60, all right. You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, so did this occur
Well, test
earlier?
me.
I'm not going to do that. So, did this occur earlier than age 30? Did it occur earlier than age 30? No. Did it occur between 30 and 40? Ooh, that's strong. So sometime between 30 and 40 is when this got picked up, so we'll narrow it down further. Did it occur between 30 and 35? No. Did it occur between, so after 35 to 40 then, did it occur around age 35? Did it occur around age 36? Did it occur around age 37? I'd say 36. Pretty strong. Let's go back to that. Does this occur around age 36? That's pretty strong. So, typically these are accurate within a year, plus or minus. So you might have been 35, or maybe even 37, but it was probably 36. If you think about what you were doing then, and where you were, maybe you were going to school, maybe you were in a relationship, maybe something bad happened, maybe somebody was sick. I don't know. What do you think? Anything ring a bell back then?
I can't associate an
Okay.
event
It's
with age
24
at
years
this
ago.
moment.
It's 24 years ago.
Okay. No problem. Doesn't matter. See, it doesn't bother me at all. Why? Because what I'm after is what the subconscious mind knows, and it remembers everything. And it's like the lady I was telling you about at the seminar. I was working on a lady on the phone one day, and I found this trapped emotion of grief when she was 29 years old. And she said, "No, it doesn't make any sense. I don't remember anything happening. And everything was fine then." And I said, "Well, okay, let me check it again." So I checked it again, and then I came back and said, "Well, that's what your body says." She says, "Well, no, I just don't remember anything that happened when I was 29 years old." She just breaks down. And what happened was that your husband had an affair. She had an affair to get even. They were both excommunicated from their church.
Whoa!
She blocked it out. But your subconscious, not what I'm saying. You know,
I trust the subconscious.
I trust it too. So, do we need to know more about this trapped emotion of dread? And what's your body say?
No.
No, it says no. And so, typically what happens, I'd say at least 70% of the time, when we release an emotion like this, and the person does not remember, within a day or so, it'll very often come back to you, you know. And sometimes it's something that you just can't believe that you forgot about. But a day or so later, you'll be doing something totally unrelated, and all of a sudden your subconscious mind will say, here's what it was. And you'll remember, and you'll go, oh, wow, I forgot all about that. Yeah, that was when I was in prison.
What year was it?
No, I didn't mean to kill that guy. So let's release this.
Okay.
Okay, so-
1988.
And, does that help at all?
Well, I'll work
You
on
think
it.
about it. No worries. See, the beauty of this is that we don't have to involve your conscious mind at all.
Good.
It's all subconscious. So here we go. Now to release a regular trapped emotion like this, we just do 3 swipes. Now you can use a magnet, okay? You can use a 0-point energy one. If you don't have a magnet or one of those, you can use your fingertips because your body also is magnetic. So you don't have any excuses, you see. No excuses. And the beauty of this emotion code book is that I wrote it so that if you were the last person on Earth and it washed up in a bottle, you'd be able to do it. That's how easy it is. So hold your arm right there and resist me. Okay. Did we release that trapped emotion of dread? Okay. Now, do you still have a heart wall? Let's try that again. Do you still have a heart wall? Wow. That's amazing. We released it in one shot.
That's a surprise.
That is a surprise. Now, let's ask, do you have other trapped emotions in other areas of your body? What's your body say?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Do you have a heart wall? No. Do you have a hidden heart wall? No.
No.
Wow.
Sometimes the heart wall is kind of
Wow.
hidden away, but no. Well, that deserves a hug then. Now, let me tell you what happens, okay? When that heart wall is taken down, amazing things can happen. Now, sometimes they start happening right away. Sometimes it takes place over the course of months. But amazing things can change for people. One of the great stories. Did I tell you about the
Jewish lady?
woman? Should I tell you about that?
Yeah, that was good.
You like that story?
Yeah, I like it.
That was a great story. Well, you know, I'll let you sit down because it's a really long story. Well,
Tell your story, and
Okay.
then we will wind up.
no, we'll wind up.
That's
Okay.
great.
Well, this was a beautiful story that happened to me. I was in New York City a few years ago, and I was at a big event where I was meeting a lot of producers and from different magazines, and I was kind of going from booth to booth talking to people, and I stopped at a booth and started talking to this one particular lady, and she was very interested in finding out more about what I was doing, and so right then the bell rang, and so we had a break for about 15 minutes, and so she and I sat down at a table, and I started telling her about the emotion code. And she told me she was Orthodox Jewish, very strictly observant, and she had a goal to be married within the next year. But she had no prospects, and she'd never really been married before or even in a long-term relationship. But that was her goal. So I told her, I said, well, if you have a heart wall, then that love or affection that you have, which, by the way, will make your heartbeat appear in the brainwaves of another person. They've proven in the lab now. If you're feeling love or affection for another person, it shows up in the brainwaves of another person. Amazing. I told her, I said, if you have a heart wall, you're going to be handicapped. It's going to be much harder for you to fall in love and find your soulmate. So I handed her a magnet like this, and sitting across from her, I started doing some checking, and sure enough, she had a heart wall. Now, there's always a subconscious, there's a material always chosen by the subconscious mind for the heart wall, and in her case, it was clear plastic. In my wife's case, it was wood. She grew up in a house with hardwood floors. And when you build a wall, you see, you can't build a wall out of nothing, and so the subconscious mind, very logical, has rules of operation. And so in her case, it was clear plastic. It's 4 inches thick. And she said, at that point, she said, oh, I love clear plastic. When I was a kid, my parents covered the couches and the furniture and the stairs and everything. And the analogy was, of course, that here she is, born into this world, and very religious, but wants to keep her heart clean, right, from all the dirt in the world. And so that's why you cover your chairs and couches and things with clear plastic. So that's what her subconscious mind chose for that material. So we started working on her. She had the magnet, and I'm finding the emotions, and she's releasing them by passing the magnet just over her head. And you can do that when you're working on this by yourself. You can just go from your forehead to the back of your neck 3 times to release an emotion, or 10 if it's inherited. And so she's clearing these emotions. There were 6 or 7 that were making up this heart wall for her. And when she got halfway through the release on the very last emotion, something really amazing and profound happened. because it was as if a stone had been rolled away from in front of that heart of hers, and I was in the beam, I was in the path of what was coming out of that heart. And I was just suddenly bathed with the most amazing feeling of beauty, really. Just, it was amazing. It's really hard to describe. It's like if you could take the most beautiful scene that you've ever seen, or the most beautiful painting you've ever seen in your life, and you could somehow turn that into some kind of if you could paint a light bulb with it and then turn the light bulb on and then be in the path of that, so you could actually absorb that feeling, that's what it was like. And I told her what I was feeling, because I was just amazed and astounded by what was coming out of her core, see? That heart is the core of your being. That's the seat of your soul, the core of who you are. That's really who you are, is right inside that heart. So I told her what I was feeling. She wasn't really noticing anything herself. She just said, okay, that's interesting, But I was feeling it. And I told her, I said, now, what's happening now is that heart is unlocked, and that wall is taken down, and that pure essence of who you are is now free to radiate out from your heart and to fill the immensity of space. And I said, now the things you really want in your life are going to start being attracted and drawn into your life. And as I told her that, this Orthodox Jewish doctor, single guy, that I made was handsome on a 0 to 10 scale. This guy was like a 12, 15. He walked right by me, like I wasn't even there, and he walks right up to her, and he strikes up this conversation, like a moth to the flame. And I thought to myself, wow, this really does work fast. So anyway, and the last I talked with her, she wasn't married yet, but her career was taking off like a rocket. Book on the bestseller list. I mean,
Wow.
Things are happening for that woman. Yeah. And so, if you think about what was going on in her life all those years before, why did she never get married before? Well, she'd see a handsome guy, and she'd send a little butterfly of love from her heart, that energy, but it would have to pass through all these layers of anger and resentment and depression and sorrow and sadness. By the time it got on the other side, it's not a little butterfly anymore. It's more like a bat, And so, the subconscious mind of these other guys, I'm telling you, this is how this works. The subconscious mind of those other guys, they pick up on that seed, and which way do they go? They go the other way. And so here she is, 43, still single. And let me tell you what, 93% of people in this world have a heart wall. 93% of people. And we all want this world to change. We all want to bring this world to a higher level of existence and a higher level of civilization. It is now within our grasp, because for the first time in our lives now, God has revealed to us what goes on with our hearts. And when we live from this heart, and we manifest, imagine a world where everybody's manifesting what they can manifest. A world where everyone can feel God's love, and where they're manifesting that, and they're all acting as instruments for that love of God into the world. Can you imagine what this world would be like?
No more war.
Yeah, no more war. You know what? War happens with this brain, because this brain feels nothing. Thinks it's okay to drop bombs and etc. This brain doesn't do that, see? I guarantee you and I promise you that world is coming. It is coming. Earth has to go through some birth processes to get there, but it's coming, and you can help. Okay, you can help, and you can be a big part of this by figuring out how to do this work. And you can release your own heart wall, get rid of your kids' heart walls, and every heart wall that is released and every emotion released loosens the grip of darkness on this world just a little bit. So I hope you'll help us and join us.
And please tell us how to, would you offer them the same deal?
Yes. Here's what I want you to do. Go to this website, emotioncodeoffer.com. And you can download the Emotion Code book, the ebook, the book in its entirety, and for free, and on that site. And you also get the Emotion Code book on audio. And they're recordings. It's me reading the book to you, basically. And there's 10 of those recordings. You get all of those for free. Just go to emotioncodeoffer.com. It's like a $69 value. You get it for free because I want you to have it, and I want you to start doing this and spread this out.
Thank you, Oprah Charlotte.
Thank you very much.